Hi everyone, so on this video we're going to take a look at compliance and onboarding and adding that to both client and job records. In other webinars you may have watched information about how to set up your compliance items and packages in the system. You may also have seen how you can add those items or packages to the candidate and how you can monitor that and tick them off as they've been received and add in the expiry dates to those. So what we're going to do is we're doing the second half in this webinar. So the reason we built the compliance package in the first place, so the whole part of the system, is so that you could basically, as you're working through a particular job and you're adding candidates to that job, you can then stop them moving forward if they haven't had their compliance ticked off. So it's a real enforcement in the system that you can stop them moving on or being booked if they haven't had the compliance. So in order for that to work properly, you need to understand how to attach the compliance either to the company record or to the job record. So we'll start off with the company record. So in here on the drop down, same as the candidate record, there's a compliance and onboarding page. So in here, again, like on the candidate, you can add individual items or you could add a package to this company. So I'm going to go with the onboarding and compliance one here and confirm. So see how it's listing here, right to work and the criminal record check. So the reason for doing it at company level is that when you create every single job from that client, it will automatically take those compliance items and it will attach those to any jobs you now create, which I'll show you now. So bonus of this, of course, is if there's a couple of things that are mandatory, no matter what job type you're in, or you may have companies that only deal with certain types of jobs and they all need the same checks done. So this is a real bonus. So then when you go and create a job in here, so you can see in the permanent job that I've just created a moment ago, on the compliance and onboarding page, it's already put in automatically that compliance. So this means that then as I'm going through and I am attaching candidates to the job, depending on where you've put your stop when you're building that item, it will then check compliance against the candidate. If they haven't had it ticked off, they will then stop the candidate. It will come up with a warning message saying they can't move forward at the moment. There's some compliance that's not been completed. And then at least you can go back to the candidate, check what you haven't got yet, and then go and chase it and then tick it off, and then you can move them forward. Alternatively, what you might want to do is you might work with a company that has very different job roles in it. So it could be something like, let's go with a school. So you might have receptionists, administrators, or cleaners, all types of jobs that don't necessarily need the same compliance. But then you may have teachers that may have to have a DBS, for example. So in that case, what you could do is you don't have to put the compliance against the company. You could leave that blank, create jobs, and then you could attach that compliance required against just that specific job. So what you would do is simply the same thing. You come into here, this would be blank, and then you could then add items or packages to just that job. So you've got a real flexibility of how you need to work, and it could be different from client to client. What you might also do is you might have a particular requirement that needs to go against every job, so these two things, but for a specific job, you might then go and add an individual item. So you might go, right, I've got right to work and criminal conviction, criminal record check. That's going to be checked for definite. But on this particular job, I need to add something additional in here. So you go in and say it could be CSCS, it could be DBS, depending on the role or a certificate. And then click on that and you can just add that additional check-in. So it will check for that as well on the job. Now, when it comes to lead jobs, it does exactly the same thing. So if you're adding compliance at the company level, and you then add a lead job into the system, the compliance then is not attached to the lead job. But when you convert that job over to a standard job, to an active job, the compliance automatically at that point, once converted, will then attach against the job, just as you've seen in here. So like I say, you can go and attach it in. It will apply to converted lead jobs. Or again, you can create a lead job, you can convert it, and once converted, you could then add on your compliance.